Well, you can go to the doctor, run all the blood tests, check your thyroid, cholesterol, sugar levels, and everything comes back completely normal. And yet you still feel terrible. You feel tired all the time. Your stomach feels bloated for no clear reason. Your weight slowly creeps up even though you are not eating more than before. You wake up exhausted. And somehow by night your brain is still wired. Well, I see this constant pattern in my patients. People who are technically healthy on paper, but their body is clearly telling a different story. And the frustrating part, when you ask for help, you're usually told something like, oh, your tests look fine, maybe it's just a stress. But deep down, you know something isn't right. So, what's actually going on? The truth is something that medicine is only started to recognize. For the first time in history, the environment we live in is quietly damaging our metabolism. It's not genetics, it's not your bad luck, it's not simply that you're getting older. The way modern life is structured is putting enormous pressure on our biology. And if you look at the data, it's honestly a little shocking. Right now, about 40% of adults have metabolic syndrome, which is basically the stage before a serious disease. Roughly 1 in 3 adults are already pre-diabetic, and almost none of them actually know it. And fatty liver disease, something that used to be rare, is now the most common disorder around the world. Well, the strange thing is that these conditions develop silently, not for 10, probably sometimes for 20 years. Well, you don't get any dramatic symptoms, you don't get any obvious signs or warnings, just a slow shift in the energy, digestion, hormones, things people often blame to aging or stress. But aging alone doesn't explain why you are seeing this. Lifestyle does. And today I want to show you 5 things in the modern life that are quietly damaging your metabolism, why early problems rarely show up on standard medical tests, and how Ayurveda has been addressing these imbalances for thousands of years. Because once you understand what's happening, you start seeing it everywhere. Think about that normal weekday looks like for normal people. Well, when the morning comes, you normally skip your breakfast or replace it with a coffee. Lunch happens quickly at your office desk, usually something processed or packaged and not fresh. Then comes the commuting, then home, stress, traffic, emails, and whatnot. And finally, the biggest meal of the day happens late at night, sometimes at 9 or 10 p.m., followed by scrolling on your phone in the bed. And then this cycle keeps repeating, sometimes for days, weeks, and probably months, and for decades. We just stuck in our patterns and habits. When you step back and look at it, modern life has quickly become a metabolic stress wherein most bodies are struggling to keep up. What surprises people most is that the body can tolerate this for a very long time, and you won't even know it. Probably years, until one day it can't. So let's talk about the biggest pressures modern life put on your metabolism. The first one might surprise you. It isn't food, it isn't exercise, it isn't stress as well. Your nervous system evolved to handle stress in short bursts. Let's say you go to a jungle and imagine a tiger appears. Your body instantly shifts into a survival mode, fight and flight mode. Your heart rate rises, your blood sugar increases, your digestion shuts down temporarily, so energy can go to muscles for you to be active and do something about this tiger. But then the tiger disappears, and obviously your body should relax again. Well, that doesn't happen. That cycle is pretty healthy though. The problem is that the modern stress never really ends, and we forget to relax after activation and stress. It's emails late at night, financial pressure, constant notifications, comparing your life to everyone else. The social media, what's going on there with your friends and relatives. So you are in constant stress. Your body never receives the signal that the danger is over and it's time to relax. So stress hormones like cortisol stay elevated far longer than they should. And when cortisol stays high for long periods, three important things actually happen. First, the blood sugar stays elevated as well. The body becomes more likely to store fats, especially around the abdomen region, and digestion becomes weaker. So even if someone like eats well, the constant stress can still disrupt your metabolism and digestion. In Ayurveda, this state is often described as a vata aggravation, when the nervous system becomes overstimulated and unstable. Well, modern science describes the same phenomena as a chronic stress syndrome or the chronic fatigue response. Different languages they are, but it's the same reality and the outcome. The second major problem in modern life isn't just what we eat, it's actually when we eat. When is more important than what? Your metabolism follows a circadian rhythm, basically an internal clock that syncs with the sun. Digestion is strongest around your midday and naturally weaker late at night. But modern eating patterns have flipped this completely. Breakfast is small or being skipped. Lunch is being rushed, or probably sometimes people skip that as well. And dinner becomes the largest meal of the day, often late in the evening, which is so wrong as per Ayurveda. When heavy meals arrive late at night, digestion simply isn't as efficient. Instead of converting food clearly into nutrients and energy, the process becomes sluggish. In Ayurveda, this undigested metabolic residue is called ama. Modern research is starting to describe similar processes using terms like metabolic endotoxemia. Again, different words describing the same concept. You are not only what you eat. You must have heard in Ayurveda, you are what you eat. I would actually modify it by saying that you are what your body is able to digest and process. Another quite metabolic disruptor is something we barely notice anymore. That is a lot of sitting. Yes, you heard it right. We sit in cars, we sit in desks, we sit during meals, we sit on couches in the evening, or probably we sit or during binge watching on Netflix. Humans evolved walking long distances daily. A lot of people estimated that traditional human moved 10 to 15 kilometers a day. Well, today, many people walk less than 2 actually. So what most people don't realize is that muscles are not just for movement. They are actually important metabolic organs. Active muscles help regulate blood sugar and improve insulin sensitivity. When muscles remain inactive for long periods, then metabolic efficiency slowly declines. Well, another major factor is food itself, not simply calories, but how food is manufactured and processed. Ultra processed foods dominate modern lifestyles and diets. Highly refined carbohydrates, industrial seed oils, artificial additives designed to make foods hyper palatable, but it's not good for your stomach. Whatever is palatable to your tongue, not necessarily is good for your stomach. These foods create rapid glucose spikes again and again. Over time, cells begin responding less effectively to insulin. Inflammation slowly increases, metabolism becomes less stable. Interestingly, Ayurveda describes something similar thousands of years ago. Foods that are overly processed or unnatural were believed to contribute to the accumulation of ama, blocking the body's metabolic pathways. And finally, there is something many people underestimate, which is sleep. Well, sleep isn't just rest. It's when the body performs maintenance and repair. Hormones get recalibrated, cells do repair, the brain clears metabolic waste and all the fog. But modern sleep patterns are often short, irregular, and disrupted by artificial light. So even a single week of poor sleep can significantly reduce your insulin sensitivity, meaning the body becomes less effective at processing sugar, which means even a healthy diet can't function optimally. Now, here's where things become confusing for many people. Because metabolic disease rarely appears suddenly, it develops gradually in stages. First, energy becomes unstable. You feel tired in the morning but wired and stressed at night. Then digestion starts becoming unpredictable. While bloating, gas, irregular appetite becomes normal. Then hormonal shifts start happening. You would have frequent mood changes, anxiety, low libido, and sleep disturbances. Then inflammation builds up slowly after that. You would have joint aches, skin issues, brain fog. These are the common symptoms, but loads of things can happen as well. Only much later does it appear as a diagnosable disease. Well, you might see on your test as a diabetes or a heart disease, autoimmune disorders, and lot more. Ayurveda described this early stage long ago using the concept of Sanchaya, the phase where imbalance is accumulating, but disease hasn't fully materialized yet. And this stage is incredibly important because this is where the body is still very capable of recovery. Well, metabolism is actually remarkably resilient. Well, when we restore the basic foundations the body evolved for, things often begin to improve surprisingly quick. Ayurveda tends to focus on three very simple foundations. The first is strengthening your digestion. You should eat warm, freshly prepared foods which are seasonal and easier for the body to process and digest than cold or heavily processed meals. Then eating the largest meal at the midday, which aligns your digestion with the body's natural circadian rhythm. And allowing a few hours between dinner and sleep gives the body time to complete your digestion and your pith gets stabilized. Well, second is calming the nervous system. Even small practices like slow breathing, brisk walking after meals, or eating without distractions help shift the body out of constant stress mode. This allows metabolism to shift from survival mode and back into repair mode. And third, very important, is reducing your metabolic buildup. Simpler meals, fewer processed ingredients, switch to traditional digestive spices like ginger, cumin, turmeric, coriander. These small adjustments gently support the body's natural detoxification processes. When these foundations stabilize, then many people begin notice something quite interesting. Your energy returns back to normal, your digestion becomes stronger, your sleep quality improves, and the body begins functioning the way it was designed to. After years of studying and working with people, one thing has become very clear to me. Most lifestyle diseases are not random. They are not a coincidence. They have been developing slowly and gradually over the period of time. They are the predictable result of how we live or how we have lived in recent times. And when the underlying patterns change, the body often responds, for positive or negative. If you're watching this and thinking, well, this sounds exactly what I have been going through or experiencing, that's actually a good sign because you're at the right place then. Because awareness is the first step toward a change. If you would like to explore this deeper, I have shared resources below, including consultations and my Ayurveda courses where we work through these concepts in physical and actual detail. And if this conversation resonated with you, then do not forget to subscribe and share this video with others. In the next video, we are going to explore something fascinating, which is how your gut may actually be controlling far more of your health than your brain does. And once you understand that connection, many health mysteries suddenly start making sense. So I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take a very good care of your health.